Good afternoon, Dandelion. We're going to be painting Odin today. And before you start, please make sure that you have all of your materials and your apron ready. Make sure your paper is moist enough and that you have spoken your verse. Now we are going to be washing our brush and making sure that it is clean before we begin. When you have ensured it is clean, pick up some lemon yellow, start in the middle of your paper, and spread out the yellow. And this will be lighting up your subject later on. Use round strokes to spread it, just that one dip in the paint will be spread out to make this circular shape like a nice yellow glow. Make sure to not rub your brush, and instead always make sure that you are moving it, the bristles, in one direction, and you lift your brush every time you move the brush rather than rubbing it. Every time you're going to change direction, you lift your brush to take care of its bristles. Now wash your brush and dry it. Make sure it is clean again. And this time, you're going to apply some Prussian blue, and this will be coming from the outside of our paper, like darkness, coming in to meet the light. And just carefully approach the round shape that you created here in the middle until it fades. Between the blue and the yellow, there will be a space where they will blend to make green. And because the two colors are already blended, we must first clean our brush before we go back to the pure color of Prussian blue, so that we never mix more than one color inside each jar of paint. You always make sure that our paints are pure. We never mix the colors inside the jars. We only mix them onto the paper. And just the same, we spread that one dip of the brush and approach inward. And once that you are already as close to the yellow as you are on the other side, then it is okay now to go around, because the color will be the same all around the pure yellow part until the blue fades. Then you can wash your brush again. Make sure it is clean and dry it. And now we are going to be making our main shape. Odin wears a helmet that is very unique. The helmet has horns on either side. So we begin with the round shape of the top of his head, and we add the horns. And watch carefully. The horns curve out, in and out again, just like you did in your drawing. And then you pull it back down, and you make the bottom of the horns a little thicker than the top. Alright, now we spread that down here in the yellowmost part of the paper will be his face, and he's very muscular, so we go straight to his shoulders because his neck is very sturdy and strong. So for now we are just making the main shape of Odin. Don't be afraid for the blue to mix a bit here. And when you go back up to his chin, you can now begin adding what would be his beard later on. Then you can trace here with your brush where the bottom of the helmet would be, and on one side to your right will be his hair covering his missing eye. We have not dipped with any paint yet. We are just moving the paint that is already on the paper around. Now we are adding some hair on the side and the bottom of the beard as well. Now that we have found our main shape, we're going to be washing our brush once again and cleaning it. Make sure every time you use the water to wash it, you then go to the edge of the mouth of the jar to push the water down the bristles before you dry it. Alright, now we are going to be making his glove and his hair, and we are going to be using vermilion to get closer to a darker brown. So we can begin here with just individual strands of hair covering his face here, and remember where his face would end there, you can put hair on the side of it, and then his beard. So we are just using our brush this way to make thin lines rather than this way. This makes wide lines, this makes thin lines. So we are using it vertically to follow, and remember here there will be a mouth, so we can paint the mouth here, and the beard will be coming down from that mouth, and the mustache goes above it and goes sideways like this. So we can dip more vermilion. We haven't really mixed too much. So again, this is the mouth, and the beard goes under the mouth, and the mustache goes over the mouth towards the side. Alright, let's continue this to show his hair, and with the remaining vermilion on your brush you can define his helmet, the underside, and then you will go to one side of it and paint it here, and you will be blending this later. But first, using it vertically again, go to the side of the horn. So because it's gold, we're going to try to make it shiny, so it's on this side, on this horn, so it's also going to be on the left of this horn, and also the left of this horn. Alright, there. Later on we will blend it. For now we leave it. Let's try to find his face here and add the hair on the side, and we are going to be adding his eyebrow and his eye. Alright, now we can add his glove, and we will not be defining each of his fingers too much. we are just putting a shape here at the bottom where his spear later on could be. We wash our brush. He was. We drag it on the side gently. We clean it. And now we go to our blue first. We skip the carmine red for now, and we go straight to ultramarine blue. Now on his shoulders stand Hugin and Munin, the two crows. We are going to be starting with a long round shape for the chest and the belly of the bird, the ravens, like an oblong, and then the tail, and then a smaller round shape here at the top, which tapers into a beak, and perhaps some talons here at the bottom. And then we can add from the shoulder some wings, and you can make them bigger, and you can make a pair of them, so one will be behind the other. There. And you can also open the tail a bit, and we are going to be doing the same on the other shoulder because there are two of them. And we are going to be starting again with the main round oblong shape, the tail. Hopefully by now it's easier because you've done it already once. The two feet and the head. Make sure to not rub, always lift when you change direction. And maybe we don't have to mirror it too exactly. Maybe this one crow will have its wings down from the shoulder again, like so. Now from his hand we can make his spear go up like this and point towards this direction. So please stop where his hand is. You can make it thicker maybe. Maybe we can make it a bit thicker because it's a strong spear. You can make it pointy. And we wash our brush. And finally we go to red, carmine red. And we are going to be blending this with the spear on the same side as we put the shadows on the helmet. We leave that for now. And while we still have some on our brush, we also put shadows here on the helmet. We try to define Odin's features. Always on the left side of each shape. So on the helmet from the top going to the left side there. And then we can also define his shoulders. Now with the remaining paint, we will blend it with the blue so that it's a bit more of a purple shade rather than just blue. So it's best if we used it first on the other part so that it's not too strongly red, because otherwise what you'll get is actually more red than purple. So you just go over the shape of the ravens. Make sure you don't go over the spear. The ravens will be a bit more purple by now. And now you can push the paint and blend it a bit. And actually, if you leave it, it will also do that on its own because it's wet paper, so it will spread out on its own eventually. Now let's not forget his eye and eyebrows and lips here. And let the paint spread later on. Maybe his finger, his thumb will be behind, and then his pointer will be here. And there we have our Odin. So we wash our brush and we clean it, we dry it, and we pack away all of our materials and let our paint dry.